Before the match, the attention was on Slot's selection decisions. For the first time, Alexander Isak and Ugo Ekitike started together. There was risk in that. Both are forwards who are used to playing on the front line rather than in structured combinational systems. But Slot chose a formation that balanced between 4-2-2-2 in attack and 4-4-2 out of possession. Wirtz and Gakpo positioned themselves above the midfield line, acting as inside attacking midfielders, while the width was provided by the fullbacks Robertson and Frimpong. This created an interesting dynamic. Ekitike dropped deeper, while Isak stayed high as the last man, aiming to open into free zones behind the defenders. This combination gave Liverpool flexibility. The team could either overload the center or stretch the opponent's defense with vertical passes. Salah was on the bench for the second time this season. This has happened roughly never, I think, and it seems to have really infuriated him, but more on that later. An important element was the pressing. Liverpool started aggressively but with structure. Ekitike and Isak closed down the centre-backs. Szoboszlai and Jones controlled Eintracht's holding midfielders. The pressing wasn't mindless, like in previous matches when the team broke down after the opponent passed the first line of pressure. On the contrary, it was clear that the players understood each other. Who steps to the ball, who stays in cover, who protects the flanks. However, despite the structured start, it was Liverpool who conceded first. They lost the ball in midfield. Eintracht immediately launched an attack. Our players got confused about who should mark whom, and Christensen finished it with a shot into the far corner, taking advantage of Liverpool's late transition from attack to defense. It was a telling moment. A team that controlled the game was still vulnerable to sharp vertical attacks. But there were almost no more mistakes like that. But it was after this that the main thing began. The reaction. Liverpool did not crumble, did not start playing chaotically, and did not reduce the intensity of their pressing. On the contrary, the team increased the tempo, started moving the ball faster and creating danger through the flanks, where Robertson and Frimpong, and later Bradley, actively joined in. Ekitike's goal came as a result of a quick attack after the ball was cleaned from defense. Robertson read the moment and with a long pass found Ekitike in the zone between the centre-back and fullback. Ugo showed both speed and composure. It was not just a finished chance, but a signal that Liverpool was regaining confidence. It's worth noting that Ekitike did not celebrate the goal out of respect for his former team, but all of Liverpool was buzzing. These are the goals we've missed: fast, unexpected, and skillful. The second and third goals were a product of training. Liverpool played one of their best matches from set pieces in recent times. Van Dijk, firstly, finished Gakpo's cross, a classic run into the space between the centre-back and the goalkeeper. Then Konate scored a header after a cross from Szoboszlai. Liverpool used a blocking movement in the box, which left Konate unmarked. These moments did not look accidental. They were well-prepared routines, not just hopeful crosses. It shows that the team is working on details despite the overall crisis of results. In the second half, Slot made another important change. He brought on Chiesa instead of Isak. It wasn't a punishment for the Swede, more of a strategic move. Slot didn't want to risk Alexander's fitness. Chiesa immediately energized the flank, adding verticality and aggression. At the same time, Wirtz, who on the first half played mostly between the lines, began to play deeper, dropping into the build-up and helping to avoid chaotic losses in midfield. It was he who gave the pass to Gakpo for the fourth goal after a quick transition from defense to attack. This was one of those rare moments in modern Liverpool where the team executed all phases of an attack without unnecessary touches. Interception, vertical pass, smart finish. Szoboszlai's fifth goal was another signal that the team is regaining confidence in long shots. Previously, during the period of failures, even when space was available, the midfielders hesitated and chose an extra pass instead of a shot. Here, the Hungarian received the pass from Wirtz, assessed the space, and struck powerfully into the bottom corner. It was not individual improvisation, but a sign of permission. The coach allows and encourages risk in the final third. Wirtz has 2 assists. He sends regards to everyone who mocked him, because this is only the beginning. He and Szoboszlai have entered the top 10 assist providers of this Champions League season. By the way, Can you guess who is the current top assist provider? Write in the comments. You can find an answer in the LFC Live app. There are also lots of news and materials about our favorite club. The link will be in the description and pinned comment. An interesting question is how Liverpool maintained balance in midfield. Without Gravenberch, who stayed in England due to injury, Jones controlled the zone. His game wasn't flashy, but it was crucial. Blocking passing lines, covering, intercepting. He completed 122 accurate passes today, a Champions League record for Liverpool over the past 20+ years. In defense, communication between Van Dijk and Konate is also worth noting. After several matches where they looked disconnected, in Frankfurt they were organized. The defensive line played compactly, minimized space between themselves and the goalkeeper, and didn't allow the opponent to enter the box easily. And yet, there were moments that raised questions. Liverpool hasn't fully solved the issue of losing the ball in midfield. If Eintracht escaped the press, free zones appeared in front of the defenders. This can be critical in matches against stronger teams. Another question is Frimpong's substitution due to injury. He was one of the key players in the 4-2-2-2 structure, and his absence may force Slot to return to a classic 4-3-3 or 4-2-3 in the next matches. It's also worth mentioning Mo Salah. He came on at the end and did make a significant impact. But the fact that Slot has left him on the bench for 2 European matches in a row is telling. This is not a conflict, but rather a signal. The team must be able to play differently, not relying solely on Salah's individual ability. At the same time, having a player like him as an option from the bench is a major advantage in matches where the result is in doubt. However, Salah's reaction is surprising. He wasted a 100% chance at the end, where he could have assisted but shot at the keeper instead. But what angered me the most was what Luis Steele mentioned. After the match, Mo Salah immediately headed to the tunnel. He did not go with the others to greet the away fans. It seemed like he was upset and annoyed. And later, he even removed the Liverpool image from his background on X, which is Twitter. What do you think about Mohamed's behavior? This win is important not just as a result, but as a proof that Liverpool once again has structure. The players understood their roles, there is connection between the lines, set pieces work, and the psychological state is improving. But this doesn't mean that the problems are gone. Next up is Brentford in the Premier League, a team that knows how to destroy structure through long balls, second balls, and physical football. That will be a different challenge, not technical, but physical and mental. To sum up, the match against Eintracht showed 3 key things. First, Slot is ready for bold experiments, but these experiments are not chaotic. They have logic, structure, and training work behind them. Second, Liverpool can adapt to the game scenario. After conceding, the team didn't lose control but instead increased intensity. Third, the team has regained variability. Different players can take responsibility in the final third, which makes Liverpool less predictable. This match doesn't solve all the problems, but it gives an answer to the main question. The team is alive, the coach is in control, and the idea is working. And if this path continues, it could be the turning point that marks the beginning of a new era for Liverpool under Arne Slot. So, shall we follow this journey together? Subscribe to our channel, we already have lots of content in our playlist. Also download the LFC Live app, and you will never walk alone. Bye bye.